Is this thing on? Alright, sick. What's going on, guys? So this is going to be my first YouTube video. Kind of nervous, kind of excited. We'll see how it goes. I'm planning to document my prep towards Worlds, as well as when I start my bodybuilding prep. So my plan for this YouTube channel anyways is to document my prep towards IPF Open Worlds, and then right after I'll be going on a month-long holiday in Europe. Followed by that, when I get back, I plan to commit towards a bodybuilding comp next year. So I'll be documenting my prep. Basically, powerlifter does bodybuilding, and then basically what happens after that when a powerlifter does bodybuilding and comes back to powerlifting. So should be pretty interesting. Wanted to document it in a long format, so I'm gonna make use of my camera, as well as post stuff on the YouTubes for longer content and stuff that can't really go on TikTok or Instagram due to time limits. If I didn't introduce myself before, my name is Christophe. I run LTS, Liftoff Training Systems. I've been powerlifting for nearly 10 years, and this will be my 20th competition. Not entirely sure how many comps I've done internationally. I'll have to double check, but yeah, it should be pretty interesting. So follow the YouTube, comment, subscribe, and stick around and enjoy the rest of this video. All right, take God knows what number it is now. I've done this voiceover multiple times as it is. But anyways, let's just get right into it. So you can watch this unnecessary setup of my last warm-up. So to all you out there, remember, when you're sending your videos to your coaches, please trim your videos. Don't worry, I did not send this to my coach. I'm just using it as a way to kind of just basically buy more time to talk more shit. I got the podcast Liftoff Insights to talk shit with people, and now I've got the YouTubes where I can, I guess, talk more shit to myself into a camera. But it is what it is. Anyway, so you can watch my last warm-up for squats for this SBD Saturday session. The last warm-up moved absolutely well, very fast, very happy with that. The range I was given for my top set of 4 was 210 to 212.5. So like the good boy that I am, I went up to 215. You'll see that's another trend I did with my bench as well, but I'll get more into it later. So you can watch this set of 4. Good depth, moved well, speed was definitely there, taking my time to set up. Generally quite happy with how this moved. It's always a good day when the lift is going the way that you want it to be, especially considering that I've only really had about 3 weeks now worth of training since post nationals. So when I last competed. So it's very interesting to see that within 3 weeks I can get that strong. And you can see Zhongchen's face of approval for that set. Now onto the back offs, and if you notice in my videos with the landscape, you can actually see that there's a lot going on in the background in my videos. You can see here Bagel struggling with the Hansu jack. It is quite heavy for a combo rack jack. But that being said, these racks do have issues with sometimes the jack getting caught on the side if you don't put them back in the center. That being said, back offs are pretty boring to watch. Not much to really say. I did 182.5 kilos for 4 sets of 5. Typically, I have 4 sets of 6, but for this last week, Victor and I did discuss it, and we decided to drop it to 5s to really make sure that bench can actually show up a bit better, since I did complain a bit about the fact that the volume on squats seemed to be leaking into my bench. Not so much my top end, but it did feel like it was leaking into my back off work and the quality of reps that I could get. Now, as we can see here, this is my matching knee sleeves and towels. I am sponsored by Stoic, so if you use code LIFTOFF, you can get 10% off. Aside from that, I do wish Virus was still making tights. You can't tell from the video here, but my tights has holes all over them. And if you're wondering, I use field ground shoes for my squats. I used to squat in Jace, but I ended up going back to barefoot shoes because they just feel a lot better. Here you can see bench. This was supposed to be my last warm-up, but this ended up moving really well, and what I thought was going to be my top single moved really well as well. So I ended up adding more kilos to the bar. So you can see 170 moved really fast, and if you saw how my weights were moving for the last few weeks, this was the best bench has been moving and feeling for the last 3 weeks. So very happy with this. 180 was absolutely violated. Very happy with that. So bumped it up to 185. My range for the single was an RP7 at 180 to 182.5. So again, like the good boy that I am, I added another 2.5 to it, went 185, and that moved really well. I think what's really interesting is the fact that obviously it only took me 3 weeks to get to this baseline level of strength. So the way we're structuring my prep for Worlds when I get back from China is basically 3 plus 3 plus 4, because I essentially have 10 weeks to prep for Worlds when I do get back. So this being the end of the block, I wouldn't even call it week 1 of prep, to be honest, because when I go to China, I'm only planning on eating, walking a lot, seeing some pandas, and just enjoying some time off. Because if you know me, I haven't actually taken time off from training or being an athlete in the last maybe 8 to 9 years. Even during COVID lockdowns and all that, I was still kind of training at home. So it would be nice to just take a bit of a break from everything and just let my body and my mind just reset for a week and then just go balls to the walls when I get back. Obviously with back offs, I did 150 kilos for 5 sets of 4. These, again, moved way better than last week's and the weeks before that. So I'm very happy with the fact that just that slight reduction in squats actually benefited me a lot more. So moving on to deadlifts, I have 7 total singles. I had a single at a stipulated range of, RP 7 to 8. This ended up being a 7.5. The range was I think the target was 245. So, I just loaded up 245 after my last warm up and it moved to about, RP 7.5, I'd say. Quite happy with how that moved. And then following that, I have 6 back off singles and they're meant to be performed every minute on the minute, which can get pretty exhausting, but, it's doable. So aside from that, obviously for those of you who already know and have been following me for a long time or are my friends and talk to me about it, after Worlds, I do plan to transition into bodybuilding. So this whole YouTube thing is going to be rather interesting where you'll get a bit more insight into my training towards Worlds and then that transition into bodybuilding. I do plan to do a bodybuilding show next year sometime in April or May. And according to my coach, I'm going to have to cut down to around 71 to 72 kilos. And I walk around at the moment about 84 to 85. So I'm going to be a real skinny bitch by the end of that thing. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But first things first, got to prioritize prepping for Worlds and then we'll go from there. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video. You'd think I'd be used to talking to a camera with the fact that I talk into a camera on a daily basis, but not in this kind of format. It doesn't get any easier. But anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. There will be more content following. I am going to China for a week. So the next video will probably be mostly about my trip to China, seeing the panda bears, eating hot pot, and just seeing the sights. But once I do get back, we will be 10 weeks out from Worlds and I do plan to be all gas and no brakes once I get back. Aside from that, updates on the podcast for Liftoff Insights. I will be recording a new episode when I do get back with 3 special guests. Aside from that, I have gotten suggestions to film content such as a day in the life, a full day of eating. Someone requested more content of my dogs, so when I do get back, I will try to cater to everyone's needs. But if you guys have any other suggestions, just pop them down in the comment section below. Other than that, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all when I get back from China.